this is Claudia, radical herbalist at Burr House, and today the plant we're going to talk about is Wisteria. Wisteria is an ancient plant and preserved remnants from the Miocene period in the Shandong Formation have been studied from Shandong province in eastern China. So they're dating back to at least 7 million years ago. However, the wisteria in this country is a kind of symbolic reminder of colonialism, of forced relocation, disruption of ecosystems, loss of names, and how documentation of plant species had more care than the treatment of many humans. John Reeves, Inspector of the East India Company, was commissioned by the most hideous man, Joseph Banks. Reeves got the plants from the merchant of Quonseca in Canton. He potted them and sent them off on HSC Chuffnells, one in 1815 with Captain Rames and one on HC Warren Hastings. The first was given to Charles Hampden Turner, and both plants were relocated in South London villages. Originally it was named Glycine sinensis, then Wisterias, either after Caspar Wisper or Charles Jones Wister. In 1826, the Horticultural Society said it does not require any nicety of management. It is impatient of the knife, talking about how readily it grows and how hardy it is. There are around 10 species of wisteria. The most popular ones are Wisteria sinensis, the most common one in the UK, and Wisteria floribunda, because they're the most popular ornamental plants due to their abundance of showy, musky, fragrant, sweet-smelling violet flowers. They mainly come from China, Japan, and Turtle Island. So they're non-natives to many countries and have quite a big impact on indigenous ecosystems. They don't bloom till they're mature, and this can take up to 3 to 10 years. Severe winters can damage their buds. They don't like heavy nitrogen-based fertilizers. They like potassium and magnesium. But they do contribute to nitrogen fixing in the soil due to bacteria such as Rhizobium radiobacter in the roots of the plant. And the roots of this plant provide like carbohydrates for the bacteria, and the bacteria fix nitrogen into nodules in the roots, as many of the legumes do. And like other leguminaceae plants, which is the pea family, this plant contains lots of isoflavones, which are sort of estrogenic compounds. It also fixes nitrogen into the soil, and it has these distinct pea family beautiful flowers. Wisterias are susceptible to honey fungus. The leaves are pinnate and opposites and compound, and they have fine hairs on the edges. They contain allantoic acid, a urea compound that's also in comfrey and in human urine, and is used for the healing of wounds and crusty skin. The flowers are bisexual, containing all parts for reproduction, and they can be consumed in moderation. But the plant contains toxic saponins and lectins. One of the triterpene saponins identified in the plant is called wisterin, and it's particularly high in concentration in the seed and the seed pod. The Asian wisterias have a velvety seed coat and the Turtle Island wisteria have smooth seed coats. Even though I say they're toxic, there's a traditional dish called teng lo, which is a delicacy made with flour, sugar, and the cooked seeds of the flower heads or of the heads that have seeded. So although the flowers can be consumed, you've got to be careful not to have the rest of the plant because it contains these lectins and saponins that can make you feel quite ill. In one journal of toxicology, I read about a 15-year-old who ate 10 wisteria seeds thinking they were edible and ended up in emergency. And she had a severe headache, gastroenteritis, she was vomiting blood, dizzy and confused for at least 7 days. There was another case of 7 children who ate up to half to one seed and they had vomiting and confusion. The young leaves, as we can see here, the young ones, have been used as a tea substitute or as a tea with the fresh flowers. Wisteria flowers open up from the base to the bottom, as you can see here. Lipophilic extracts of the flower are anti-diabetic by activation of the GLUT4 pathway and the GKS3B pathways. Key chemicals in the plant include phenylpropanoids, beta-chromines, as I said before, isoflavones and lectins. One of the agglutins from Wisteria floribunda, the Turtle Island variety, is used to test the serum of blood in humans for liver fibrosis, prostate and ovarian cancer, and IgA nephropathy. If you want to identify Wisterias, the different types, you can do it by looking at the way that they entwine. And this one is actually curling around in a clockwise manner, and that means it's a Wisteria sinensis. Actually it's anti-clockwise, I got that wrong. It's the Wisteria sinensis going anti-clockwise is the Chinese variety. The Japanese variety is the floribunda, and it twists in a clockwise direction. And the Turtle Island is the frutescens. In Japan, the plant is called Fuji or Noda Fuji, and I could not find anything on the internet on any indigenous names, only Wisteria, which is really frustrating because that's a Western European colonized name, and actually it's been around for 9 million years, and I couldn't find any other names from Turtle Island or from China. So if any of you know the names for Wisteria in China or any other countries, I'd really love to know. Wisterias don't grow readily in pots. They need to take nutrients from the soil, and sometimes they get infected by a bacteria that causes them to grow galls, and it's called a crown gall. And the crown gall causes cells to divide in a kind of like a bulbous swelling, and even when the infection is gone, it still carries on growing in this bulbous way. And the Wisteria gall has been studied and used for gastric and breast cancer and rheumatoid arthritis. I'm not sure of the chemicals inside it. If you burn Wisteria smoke, it can give you headaches and migraines. Apparently, one of the largest Wisterias is in the Sierra Madre in California, and it's 1 acre in size and weighs 250 tons. The flower essence of Wisteria is to remove awkwardness and formality for people who are uptight, for an ease of intimacy and open-mindedness, and some people take it to improve their sex lives. Wisteria is a food source for brown-tailed moths. Pigeons and sparrows like eating its buds.